Welcome to Progressive Art. Today's assignment, we're going to be creating some watercolor leaves. So what we need, our basic supplies today, are some leaves for a reference to know what kind of colors to put in. We have some 140-pound watercolor paper. We have a plastic board that we're working on. I have my palette with two colors right now. I have liquid watercolors, one in orange and one in yellow. I have my water container, some masking tape, and my brush that I'm going to be using, and a pencil. So what we're going to do first is we're going to outline the shape of the leaves that we like. So you can take a minute, align your leaves the way you want them to be in your design. And obviously the leaves are not flat, so it's not going to be super easy to trace around them. You're actually going to have to hold them down in order to do the tracing. So it's not all that difficult. All you have to do is hold down your leaf, keep your pencil quite vertical, so straight up and down, and then gently let it touch the side of the leaf and let it be guided along to create the leaf shape. Okay, don't worry about shadows and such right now. It's not important at the moment for what we're doing. So once you've got the main shape, and remember, draw very lightly. You want to be able to erase that after. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it on screen, and that's okay. As long as I can see it, that's as light as I'd like it to be. I don't want it to be any darker than that. And it's okay if parts go off of the paper. That actually makes it look more interesting. So at this point, we have the drawing of our leaf. What we're going to do is, as soon as our paper gets wet, it's going to curl. And you have two options. You can tape it down with some masking tape onto your plastic board, okay? If you don't want to do that, if you don't have tape, or the type of tape you use isn't going to come off easily and you don't want to tear the paper, we're going to then just use a clean wash brush and some water. And on the flip side, on the other side, you're just going to wet your paper with clean water completely. And what that's going to do is going to help it stick to our plastic board. For this particular exercise, we're going to be wetting the entire page first. So it's okay to get some water down right away while we talk. In other circumstances, maybe that wouldn't work, but for what we're doing today, it'll be fine. So we're adding just clean water all the way across. We want it to start working into the paper, and you'll notice that it flattens and sticks to your board. Okay, one of the things we're going to be looking at today is nature itself tells us what colors we need to use in our leaf painting. So we go back to our leaves that we use for tracing and we take a look at them. And if you look really close, you're going to see that there are lots of yellows, touches of green, and as it changes, definitely oranges and definitely nice bright reds. And lots of little speckly imperfections, and those are the wonderful imperfections that make our painting look real. We're not going to worry about those details right now. What we are worried about is this color here, the base color we call it. It would be the underlying color, the light one underneath. So I'm not going to go with a bright red at the beginning. I'm going to go with the lightest color, which is this yellowy color, okay? And it's almost a yellowy green. That's for my big leaf. For my other leaves that I used, here they are. You'll notice this one has quite a bit of that same yellow. Look at that. Not that different. Quite a bit of that yellow. And actually, so does this one. You can see it in the vine. Okay? So we feel pretty safe to use yellow as our underlying color all over. Now we're going to, because it's a weaker color, other colors, if we paint on top of yellow, it will block, those colors will block out the yellow. So we're not afraid of that. So what we are going to do is we're going to gently stir our liquid watercolors to make sure that they're blended with any water that's in it. If your watercolors are thick, you can add more water to it. If they're too thin, you can add a touch more paint to it. And once we have loaded up our brush, we're going to apply it all over. Okay, so first I'm going to check, oh, right away it already dried on me. Look at that. So I'm just, before I add it, I just checked to see if it was wet, and it wasn't. So I'm going to wet again. So when you wet your paper, you can see it gets really shiny. And the shine is a really big helper. See, the color only goes where it's wet. If it hits a dry spot, it's like a fence and it automatically stops. So you want to make sure that you have all the water on there that you need in order to make your colors flow, because we want the colors to spread all over our paper. So I watch it, and as I talk to you, I can actually see it absorbing into the paper. And then once my shine is completely gone, it has sucked into the paper, I'm ready to go. If I leave it too long, it'll dry. If I do it too soon, it'll puddle, and I don't want to do that. So in the meantime, I'm stirring up my paint, and as soon as it starts to drop in, I'm just going to start adding my color. Okay? And you don't have to do it vertically, horizontally. I actually kind of do this crisscrossy motion when I'm adding in a lot. And you can just pull your color down. It doesn't have to be a super strong color. If it's too light, for sure add a little bit more. And it does not have to be even. You can definitely have some areas that are brighter than others. Okay? Now this yellow that we have here is very lemony yellow, and this one is more like an ochre or an orangey yellow. So I don't mind taking a little bit of my orange and adding it as well, dropping little bits in here and there.